if you're going to think thoughts, which you're going to do because you have about 70,000 thoughts a day, that's what human beings do, this left brain mechanism does, why don't you just think big ones? What's keeping you from having the big thoughts? It requires the same amount of energy, we just don't go there. So maybe we just need to start coaching ourselves into, if you're going to have thoughts, have big, extraordinary thoughts. And then I started thinking about, I heard this thing on NPR, they were talking about some sort of scientific research, and I don't remember what it is right now, but it struck me as interesting because, you guys, in science, they talk about possibility and research in terms of fields. So they say fields of study, fields of research, fields of discovery, fields of possibility, fields of dreams. You remember that movie? That's a bad example, but not. They don't talk about it in boxes. Putting something in a box creates limitations, and that's not what science is about. Science is about exploring possibility. So if you think about fields are wide open spaces of possibility, which they are, why are we not doing that? Well, we don't do that because of this trap we have in our left brain. The spring gets sprung. And you know, it's something that we talked about in last night's class. I'm always saying, like, different ways of saying it so that it jogs your aha about it. But you know, the things, I was saying this to the auditors last night, the things that you tell yourself are things that actually you're repeating that somebody else told you along your journey. So they're not even your own thoughts. So the things that you tell yourself that generally beat yourself up, I'm stupid, I'm lazy, I'm fat, I'm ugly, it's not going to happen for me, etc., etc., that isn't an originating thought from self. That's from something you heard along your own journey, and you've co-opted it and made it your own. Those aren't big thoughts. That's the whole point. Get out of those thoughts. That's not who you are. So this leads me to this last thing about possibility, because it's all based in science, and it's all based in, there is no possibility where you say no. You have to start saying yes more often, in concrete terms and in more passive terms. And I had this really interesting experience yesterday that confirmed, oh my gosh, possibility begins with you. It begins with me, means you. So if you want to make something happen in life, it has to start with you. And it generally, go around, it generally has to start with taking action. So yesterday in the office, do you know this story? Shelly texted me. She wanted me to go on a blind date with somebody that she works with. So she sent me this photo of this person, and I was like, okay, sure. I'm like, sure, I'm single and ready to mingle. You set it? Okay, Barbara set it up. But whatever the case, it got put into motion. She sent me a photo of him as I was going to the gym. And I was like, oh, okay, yeah, yeah, let's do it. And then I was at the gym, and I texted her, and I was like, oh my God, I think the guy is here. I think he's working out. So I texted Shelly back, and I was like, Shelly, is he here at the gym right now? And Shelly's at work here at the studio. She's like, I don't know. And I was like, well, I'm going to go up and say hello anyway. And she's like, well, let me check. And I was like, fuck that. So of course, I went up to him, he had his earbuds in, and I was like, those off. So he took those off, and I was like, hi. I was like, do you happen to know Shelly Stoven by any chance? And he's like, no. And I was like, okay. So then I laughed and like worked out, and then she texted me back somewhere in between. She's like, no, he's not at the gym. And I was like, well, okay. Then the guy came later to this apparatus that I was working out on, and that's what they're called. They are called apparati. And I was working out, and he was there, and so I was like, well, this is interesting. He's right here again. So again, I went, and he took them out. And so I was like, you know, this is interesting. I was like, I thought maybe you knew Shelly, and then I started telling him, you know, Shelly works for me, and was going to set me up with this date, and you look just like the guy. And I was like, so you know what? Would you like to go out on a date? And he said yes. So last night I got applause. I don't know why. I thought about it today, like, guys, it's so sad that people are applauding me that I get a date. But I think the interesting point about that, people, is, you guys, you have to create possibility where there is possibility all around you, but if you don't take action, it becomes a closed system. You have to assume that it's not going to happen if you don't do it. And I generally find that to be a very empowering way to live your life. Because it's not about expectations. Of course we will have them. We're human. It's not about end results. It's not about getting in the final outcome of something. It's about in the experience. So that even if I had been denied, even if the guy was like, no, I have a boyfriend or whatever, I would have walked away having felt empowered doing the thing that I wanted to do. So you feel empowered by taking action. You don't feel empowered by taking action and it leads to the results that are the results that we are often feeling like we have to get to. That doesn't make you feel empowered. The empowerment comes from doing it. You're creating possibility where there is none. It's like, to me, it's like there are possibilities all around us, but they're hidden to us until somebody steps up to the plate. So to make them come from the atomic world, if you will, or the molecular world, and actually make them concretized in physical form requires you to just do something. Don't worry about what it's going to look like. Don't worry about that. It will take its own form. So this week, 3 things. I want you to do it. I can't policy you on homework, but I feel like if you just did it, things would start to shift and open, because it does in my life, and I'm always just teaching things that I need to keep remembering and reminding myself of. So, in personal relationships, in dating, and in career, where is there dormant, that's a good word, dormant possibility, because that's all the world is anyway. It's all possibility. Fields of possibility. Where there is dormant possibility, you are going to make active by doing something. So, that agent you met 4 months ago who gave you his card, and you were like supposed to get your reel together, and you never did, so you never followed up with him. Call him. Oh my God, I can't do that. Call him. The girl you see at the gym working out on the treadmill that you've always wanted to ask out, and you always try to get there and get your place at 11 a.m. right next to her. But you never ask her out. Ask her out! You guys, what are we waiting for? It's like Armageddon, the degrees outside. I mean, I'm serious. Why wait?